Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. What's going on, Richard? Miss Matrix? What's going on, Jared? Man, got some serious conversations for tonight. I got a ton of videos I'm going to be making over the next couple of days about the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I have to be honest with you, man. The Cowboys are the content that keeps on giving. It's the content that keeps on giving. It's the content that keeps on giving because this game has really shown me that the Dallas Cowboys, at least in the eyes of this fan base, this team is America's team. And what I mean by that to this fan base, I'm not forgetting the fact that this team had like a 5-game losing streak. I mean, everyone was calling for Mike McCarthy's job. Play calling terrible. I mean, all the players that got let go. I mean, the way this team was going, and everyone was like, let go of Mike McCarthy. And we win 2 games. And Micah Parsons started preaching, we're going to make a playoff run. Preaching this. And it's amazing at how many people got on the bandwagon. The one thing I understand about being a preacher is that the Bible is right. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. But that's a compound sentence. Faith comes by hearing. What you believe and what you do comes by hearing. And if you hear enough people saying the same thing over and over and over, especially if it's people who you like, people who you love, you better be careful. You'll start buying into the Kool-Aid. You'll start buying into the lies. You'll start believing the very improbable things that they were talking about. What's going on, Robert M31? And I'm just telling you, I'm a different kind of Cowboys content creator. I am not going to allow any of these content creators. I like them all. I've listened to them all. But I'm not going to let them build me. I didn't come into this space to say the same things they're saying. And I hope they're not in this space to say the same thing that everyone else is saying. I'm in this space to give the facts, the analytics, the box scores, the film, the breakdowns, all of these things, and give you what it's telling all of us so that we don't be like Micah Parsons last night. I don't care what anyone says. I like Micah Parsons. Very immature. His response is very immature. And this young man wants to be a leader so bad. And I'm one of these people. I don't jive with self-appointed leaders. Because in actuality, leaders are not self-appointed. People appoint you to be the leader. And the reason why they typically appoint you to be the leader is because of your work ethic. It's because of your performance. It's because of your morals, your values, the things that you say, how you respond to situations. That is how you judge a leader. You think I'm calling a man a leader who's crying after a foul? And let me preface what I'm saying. If you're sensitive, I would just say, you know what, you might not need to be listening. I'm just saying right now, you might not need to be listening to me. Because I don't deal in people's emotions. I don't let people's emotions dictate what I say and what I do. No, I'm a person, I'm sorry. I just deal in facts. I deal in reason. I want to know what's the circumstances, what caused this and what caused that, and why is this happening? What part can I control and what part can't I control? Because the only thing I can control is me, and everything else around me I cannot control. But what I can control is my response. I can control my response. I can. Even if the man across from me is better than me, he still don't get to control me. He might beat me. He might beat me on plays. He might beat me on something. But what's important is, what is my response? How do I respond? When he knocks me down, do I get up? How do I respond? How do I respond when I'm winning? How do I respond when I'm losing? If I'm a leader, it's important how I respond. And to watch Micah Parsons leave the field before the time was up. So hold on. Someone says there's nothing wrong with that. It's everything wrong with it. It's everything wrong with it. 53 men on your team. Not all of them played that game, but 53 men came to play that game. 53 men on the other side, they came to play that game. And not all of them played that game, but they played the game. And you fought hard, and they fought hard. But you know what I love about sports? You know what I love about it? I love sports because of the way the Cowboys lost. I love sports because of the way the Cowboys lost. I love sports. I love the unpredictability of sports, because sometimes in my mind, I'm like, man, this stuff is controlled. And most things that make a lot of money in this world, y'all, they are controlled. It's influence in these games. But you know what I absolutely love? I love when the play on the field is what dictates the outcome. When someone blocks a punt, when someone fumbles a ball, when someone makes an interception, when someone just does something that we know beyond a shadow of a doubt, there's no way you control that. I absolutely love this game for the very reason that the Cowboys lost. I don't love the fact that they lost, but the way they lost. That's why I love sports. And then when I watch Micah Parsons, he is so emotional. He couldn't even say, let me be a leader. Let me tell you what a cheerleader is. A cheerleader. A cheerleader cheers you on to win the game. The cheerleaders that even when the game sometimes is improbable, the cheerleaders are cheering. You ever been to a high school football game? The score is 38-0. And the cheerleaders on the losing team, they're still cheering. So you think we have a chance. They're still cheering in the fourth quarter. It's 38-0. That's what cheerleaders do. And when you score, it's 38-7, and the cheerleaders, they're cheering. Oh, you got the touchdown, 38-7. Oh, we might come back. That's what cheerleaders do. That's why they're cheerleading. But you know what the men do who are battling on that football field? Do you know what the men do? The men lead the team into battle. And they continue to lead, whether they lose the battle or win the battle. And you want to see what a man is made of? You want to see what a man is made of? I'm talking to man. I don't understand what's going on with this new generation. This new generation is the same type of generation that when their children play Little League football and their children are on the losing team, they're the type of people who want the consolation prizes. They want the trophies even though they lost. Throw that mess in the trash. I don't want no trophy for second place. The way this league is going, they're going to have a Super Bowl trophy for the winner and the loser. Little trophy, second place. Big trophy, you won the Super Bowl. I don't want that mess. I don't want it. You want to know what a man, a leader, a woman, A leader of women. You want to know what a leader of women, you want to know what a woman who looks like lead, you want to know what a man who looks like lead. It's not what they look like when they win. It's what they look like when they lose. That's when I know what I'm dealing with. That's when I know what I'm dealing with. When I lose. How do you respond when you lose? That's what I know. I know what I'm dealing with. And when I watch Micah Parsons, this man was crying a 5-7 game, y'all. A 5-7 game. He bought into his own Kool-Aid. There is nobody. I'm sorry. Anybody who thought the Dallas Cowboys were going to the playoffs, shame on you. I'm just telling you, shame on you. You're not looking at what I've been showing. You're not looking at what's readily available out there. All of these things that we got that we can look and tell whether or not someone's going to make the playoffs. And the chances of the Dallas Cowboys making the playoffs, zero. Absolute zero. We watched this team before 2 wins. We watched them go 0-5. They beat 2 teams, and look at how they beat them. Just look at how they beat them. They didn't beat them, but they won the game. So you thought we were going to win another 5 games in a row exactly like that. I don't understand this fan base. There is nothing that has happened this season. There is nothing that's happened this season that indicated we were going 7-0. You know what, actually, the game last night? The game last night was indicative of the entire season. The entire season, wasn't it? Okay, we play. We play the game. We're close. Okay, we're going to be in the game all the way to what? The 4th quarter, the 3rd quarter. Okay, check. At some point in time, we're going to stop running the ball, whether it's working or not working. Okay, check. Somewhere, we're going to turn the ball over at the most inopportune time. Okay, check. There's going to be an injury in a game. Check. Boneheaded plays in the game. Check. So we're crying over a game when that game is exactly what we've been the whole season, even in the wins. But I know why Micah Parsons was emotional. And I'm not giving it to people. They're talking about he was emotional because of the Marion Overshown. I was emotional because of the Marion Overshown. You know why? Because the Marion Overshown is everything I want in a leader. Every single thing. The Marion Overshown is every single thing I want in a leader. Oh, I want Micah Parsons on my team, especially if he's in the right position. I want Micah Parsons on my team because I know he's talented. Of course, I want talented people on my team. But the leader of my team, that's Dak Prescott. The leader of my defense, DeMarion Overshown. He will not be back until 2026, 2027. That affects this whole team because he was everything you want a leader to be. He don't run his mouth on or off the field. He's out there playing the game. I know he's running his mouth on the field, but the way he's running his mouth, the energy that he had, the way he played the game, the way we watched him evolve, getting better and better and better every single week, making play after play after play after play. We're watching DeMarion Overshown. He's not having long, drawn-out post-game interviews. We don't have to worry about him on the podcast during the week, saying something that's going to bring shame to our quarterback, bring shame to our team, bring shame to our coach. making other men answer for things that he's saying, trying to put men on the hook for things that he can't really even control. Cheerleading rather than leading. That was DeMario Overshown. To me, that's what he should have been crying about. That meaningless game, I'm sorry. I'm just not sentimental. I'm not emotional. That game was absolutely meaningless. The fight of that game, meaningful. Some of the players, I'm telling you, put yourself in evaluation mode. I love what I saw in evaluation mode. Man, we got some players on this team, man. We do. We got some players. But this is what Jerry Jones does well. Jerry Jones will get you some players. But Jerry Jones don't know how to build a team anymore. Because he won't let a man like a Jimmy Johnson, who built the team, who built the culture. The culture is a reflection of Jerry Jones. And if you'll notice, Micah Parsons is starting to sound and look just like Jerry Jones. Do y'all know? I'm going to let y'all hear some stuff tonight. And I'm going to play the same stuff tomorrow when I come back. But I'm sorry, what Micah Parsons said needs to be studied. It needs to be studied. And I don't care what anyone says. You can tell me anything you want about Micah Parsons. This man's mind, this young man's mind isn't working right. And I am telling you, unless Jerry Jones gets somebody in here and allow them to coach men. This is why Deion Sanders wants no part of this team and wants no part of the pros. Because like Deion Sanders said, he don't want to be trying to motivate multimillionaires. Men. I can tell you right now, Deion Sanders' son, he has a podcast. You ever listen to it? He doesn't say half the stuff that Micah Parsons says. He's not saying stuff his team has to answer for. He's not saying stuff that brings shame to his father. He's not saying things that put other people in uncomfortable situations. Doesn't do that. Because his daddy, he know that his dad will get on him. It's not just his coach. It's his father. And he's been taught a few things. And this stuff with Micah Parsons, I'm sorry. Everyone else can give him a pass. I'm not giving him a pass. I'm not giving him a pass. And the reason why I'm not giving him a pass, and I'm going to read some of your comments in a minute. You can tell me anything you want to. And I'm going to go back and watch more film on this. I've seen some people, they've been dropping some stuff. Oh, he was held the whole game. It is a bold-faced lie. Micah Parsons was not held the whole game. He was not. It's a lie. It's a lie. And anybody want to tell me about the double teams? Micah Parsons, you notice nobody's talking about the double teams? Do y'all know Cincinnati disrespected Micah Parsons so bad they didn't even double team him the whole night? Didn't even double team him. They didn't. You know why? Hey, man, he's undersized. Hey, man, he's undersized. All we need is somebody with some brute strength, and we could probably hold him off for the most part. And Joe Shiesty, as shiesty as he is, boy, I'm telling you, I never thought I'd see or say Joe Burrow is more mobile than Dak Prescott right now. I just couldn't believe the way Joe Shiesty was moving on the Cowboys. He was stepping to the side when DeMario Overshown came at him, he stepped to the side. Micah Parsons come at him, he stepped to the side. He stepped up, he ran to the side, he ran forward. Always eyes down the field trying to make the big play. Man, Joe Burrow is cerebral right now. Something's going on with Joe Burrow. And it's a crying shame. It's a crying shame that he doesn't have the defense. Because Joe Burrow is putting on a clinic. He really is. But you know the problem that I have with Micah Parsons? Y'all can tell me anything you want to. I'm not hating on Micah Parsons. I'm just giving you the facts. Some people can't handle the truth, but I'm going to give them to you in 4K. This is the truth. This is the truth. This is CeeDee Lamb. This is CeeDee Lamb. This is Micah Parsons. I saw CeeDee Lamb name. This is Micah Parsons. This is him. 0 tackles. 0 assisted tackles. 0 sacks. How do you post all zeros? How? How do you do that? You are supposed to be the leader not by your mouth, but the leader by your play. How? How do you do it? I do not understand that part. How do you do this? DeMarion Overshown. You want to look at his box score? 6 tackles. 4 solo, 2 assists. That's DeMarion Overshown. This dude was balling. I mean, look at Kendricks. 8 and 4. Wilson, safety play. 5-4, half a sack. Diggs, forced the tackle, of course. Hooker, 4 and 3. Jordan Lewis, 4 and 3. Overshown, 4 and 2. Bland, 2 and 3. Golston, 2 and 0. Odigizua, 1 and 2. Leafawu, 1 and 1.5. Nealon, 1 and 1. How does the most impactful player on your team, how does he not? How does the most impactful player on your defense, how does he not record 1 tackle? Not one. Not 1 tackle. Not 1 assisted tackle. Not a quarter of a sack. You got to explain this to me. If you are who you say you are, and I'm watching you crying and emotional, y'all notice ain't nobody talking about this part? I may be the wrong person for people to listen to. Because I'm laughing at people are talking. See, this is why I don't get caught up in people's emotions. Hold on. I want to know what you're emotional about. Because DeMarion Overshown, everybody should have been crying. There shouldn't have been a dry eye on the sideline. My eyes were not dry last night. They were not. My wife's eyes were not dry last night. I'm not saying we were crying, but our eyes were not dry. Because this kid is everything you want in a leader. He's everything you want in a defensive leader. He's everything that you want for the Dallas Cowboys. It is the type of DeMarion Overshown is the type of players that Jerry Jones, I don't know. I would love to know who said get DeMarion Overshown, because this is the type of kid they need to be looking for. They need to be looking for kids like this. They need to find ways to search them out. They need to talk to whoever they need to talk to in college football. They need to talk to the people, the coaches, the staff, the teachers, whoever at these universities. They need to be using DeMarion Overshown as the blueprint of the players we want on our team. This man lays it all on the line out there. That's what should have had all of us emotional. But that loss last night, I'm sorry. Love the Dallas Cowboys. But they lost. They lost. And I know everybody wants to blame Amani. Did he make a dumb play? Yes. He made a very dumb play. But I want to show you something just for a moment. I mean, just for a moment. I noticed something about the game. Everybody was talking about the Dallas Cowboys. And I want to bring you to the point. I want to bring you to a point in the game. And I'm thinking this is the 531 point, but I want to take you back even further. I want to take you back even further because there's something that happened in the game. I want to take you back to about the 8:15 moment. This is the 8:15 moment in the game. This is on NFL Pro. I mean, if you don't have a pro subscription, if you really want to get into some numbers, I mean, you might really enjoy some of this stuff. I mean, this is a serious breakdown right here. And this is another part that no one's talking about. And then I'm going to get to some of your comments. I'm going to let y'all talk bad about me all you want to, but it's not going to change my mind. But I want to show you the 8:15 point. It says that Brown right into Cincinnati, 46 for 3 yards. Looks like Eric Kendricks was on the tackle. At the 7:32 mark, Joe Burrow was in the shotgun. Joe Burrow passed short left to Lascivas to Cincinnati, 47 for 1 yard. Trayvon Diggs fumbles. Diggs recovered by Dallas Wilson. Blah, blah, blah. And I think there was maybe something happened where whatever they're talking about right there. But this is the point I want to show you. So at 7:28, shotgun, Joe Burrow sacked at Cincinnati 39 for 7 yards. A split sack by Wilson and Leafau. But I want you to understand something that Cincinnati is not talking about. The media is not talking about. The Dallas Cowboys are not talking about. Do we not understand that right here at the 7:28 moment, this was a third down play? Do we not realize that they actually committed a blatant, unmissable face mask on Joe Burrow? But they missed it. They missed it. And I'm sorry, the NFL needs to do something about this. This keeps happening. It's not just Joe Burrow. It keeps happening. I think it happened to another team. I can't remember a game I was watching. I saw it again against Burrow in another game. I think it was in a Rams game where the Rams defender committed the face mask, and he knew that he did, but the refs didn't call it. And of course, because it's not a challengeable offense, and it wasn't inside of 2 minutes, I don't know. I don't even know if you could challenge those within 2 minutes or whatever the case may be. But you notice no one's complaining about the face mask that they missed? That literally would have taken the Cincinnati Bengals from their own 39 and would have put them on somewhere around the Cowboys, 48, somewhere around the Cowboys 44-yard line, somewhere in there. And it would have kept the drive going at the 7:28 mark. And the Cowboys could, you think about it, they were really having a hard time already stopping Jamar Chase. So what happens if they call that face mask? Because I can tell you this, it's not a punt at 6:42. It's not a punt. They don't punt the ball to the Dallas Cowboys, y'all. They don't. They don't punt the ball. They don't. No one's talking about this. Because I believe that penalty changes the game. It changes the game. And the inevitable, in a sense, to me, would have happened. Because I'm not sure they stopped Joe Burrow on that drive. But, okay, for argument's sake. Let me give you something else they're talking about. I'm going to release a video tonight. The Cooper Rush interview is very interesting. And I'll give Cooper Rush credit. Cooper Rush is telling the truth in his post-game press conference. You know what he said? He said, we got the ball 3 times in the fourth quarter and we failed. No, Cooper Rush, actually, you failed. But y'all failed too. But the reason why I say Cooper Rush failed is because the reason why they were failing is because he couldn't get the ball to him. You look at this at the 6:31 moment. Rico Dowdle up the middle for the Dallas Cowboys, 14 yards. This has some folks in a little bit of an uproar right here, and I can understand why. I see both sides of this. I'm looking at it from a whole different perspective. But Rico Dowdle runs the ball for 14 yards at 6:31. And the magic question is, why didn't Mike McCarthy keep running the ball? Why didn't he? Because I'll be honest with you, the game probably is different. I mean, they've already missed the face mask call on Joe Burrow. Maybe Cincinnati does complain about that if they don't win the game, but no one's talking about it. The Cowboys get the ball back. Rico Dowdle up the middle to Dallas's 34 for 14 yards. Wait a minute. Hold on. We got Brandon Aubrey. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can just get this about another 20 yards. And with the way Rico Dowdle is running, maybe Mike McCarthy should continue to run the ball. We're out here killing the money. But there's all kinds of circumstances happening in this game. And Cooper Rush is being honest, and no one's listening to him. Micah Parsons, can you dry your eyes for a moment? Can you dry your eyes for a moment? Because I'm going to show you something in this game, again, that is absolutely astounding. But let me take you through this. It's amazing because he runs the ball for 14 yards. And all of a sudden, Mike McCarthy, I'm telling you, this stuff has to be studied. You better understand something that Mike McCarthy said. Mike McCarthy said that Cooper Rush reminds him of Rich Gannon. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember how I went off about that? Y'all remember my reaction? Because I'm telling you, I don't know how old you are, but I'm old enough to remember old Rich Gannon. No, Cooper Rush ain't even in the same universe as Rich Gannon, but I digress. And I want you to pay attention to what Mike McCarthy persisted to do. Cooper Rush pass, incomplete, 557. Cooper Rush shotgun pass, incomplete, left to Brandon Cooks. Cooper Rush pass, 548, incomplete, short left to Kavontae Turpin. No one's talking about this. They're talking about it actually in the wrong way, but I see this in a different way. Do y'all know Mike McCarthy gave Cooper Rush the opportunity of a lifetime? I don't care what people are saying about you. Let's say you're Cooper Rush. You're Cooper Rush. And everyone is talking about how good you are. Some people like me are stating the facts and the truth based on the stats and the film. You're not better than Dak Prescott. You're not better than any starting quarterback in this league. You're a backup. And we need to accept that Cooper Rush is a backup. But Mike McCarthy, for whatever reason, do y'all know he gave Cooper Rush the opportunity to prove that he was more than a backup? Let that sizzle in your spirit for a moment. Now, I know as the Dallas Cowboys fans, we don't like that, do we? We don't want me to tell you that he gave Cooper Rush the opportunity to prove that he's more than a backup. Let that sizzle in your spirit again. You don't like it, do you? Because it's your Dallas Cowboys. We don't like that, do we? Let me show you another incident that's similar to this. You never know what's going through the minds of these coaches. You never know what's going through the minds of these coaches. But I want to pull up a little bit of history because this is not the first time it happened, and it's not going to be the last time it happened. Watch this. Anybody remember this? Malcolm Butler interception in, I'm thinking Super Bowl. Oh, help me. My Roman numerals on the L. What is that? Super Bowl, maybe 49? Super Bowl, whatever you remember in 2015. Malcolm Butler interception. How did it happen? You know how it happened, y'all? It happened because Pete Carroll was trying to turn over the leadership of the Seattle Seahawks from the Legion of Boom, from the defense leading the team, the defense being the reason why they've been to the Super Bowl for a second season in a row. And not only the defense and Dan Quinn and that Legion of Boom, but also because, oh man, boy, if you did not see Marshawn Lynch run, beast mode did not do this man any justice. They're down there on what, like the 1 yard line? Pete Carroll gets a little fancy. Pete Carroll calls a pass play. You know why he calls a pass play? You got Marshawn Lynch in the Super Bowl. And all you have to do is say, hey, Russell, we don't even have to call the play. On 3, turn around, hand it to Marshawn Lynch, let him do the rest. It's not what they did. Pete Carroll tried to give Russell Wilson infamy. He gave it to him. He gave it to him. Not the way he thought it was going to happen. He thought they were going to just throw a little 1-2 yard touchdown, and Russell Wilson was going to get the MVP of the game, and the leadership of the team was going to flip to one Russell Wilson. Unfortunately, Butler had studied the tape. Belichick had them studying the tape, and they recognized everything that was going on down to the formation. And Butler stepped in front of the receiver and made one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history. And Tom Brady did Tom Brady things. And Tom Brady marched right on down and beat the Seattle Seahawks. Y'all think this is unusual, right? Well, do we not realize that Mike McCarthy had made the Rich Gannon statement? Do we not realize Jerry Jones was talking about and is still saying it? Cooper Rush gives us the best opportunity to win. Everything Dak can do, Cooper Rush can do. He's alive. The stats don't show it, and nobody believes it. Even Stevie Wonder can see it. He's not the same as Dak Prescott, and this offense isn't the same without Dak Prescott. They win that game last night easy. They win it. Going away, they win it. That defense was trash. It is. I don't like to call grown men trash, but the way that defense plays, man, trash. Straight up trash. Mike McCarthy gave Cooper Rush the opportunity of a lifetime. If you think they're talking crazy about Cooper Rush now, and the mythology of Cooper Rush, the 7-3 Cooper Rush, the first one to 5-1 in the Cowboys. I don't even know what all this stuff means. 7-3, first quarterback 7-3. He's in rare air. Could you imagine if he goes 8-3? Mike McCarthy gave him the opportunity. I know y'all don't like what I'm telling you, but I'm just telling you what happened. Mike McCarthy said, Rush, it's on you. Y'all remember all the stuff? I've even seen people on here, all the Dak Prescott haters. They all up in the comments. In Rush, we trust. It's amazing, isn't it? In Rush, we trust. So don't get mad at Mike McCarthy when he says in Rush, I trust. Don't get mad about it. Because that's exactly what Mike McCarthy said. Because there was no logical reason to stop running the ball with Rico Dowdle. They literally couldn't stop Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle last night, I told y'all, in order for the Cowboys to win, Rico Dowdle must run the ball 25 times. Rico Dowdle run the balls 25 times last night. I'm sorry. You talking about a career night? Man, Rico Dowdle might have ran the ball for 200 yards. But all you Cooper Rush lovers, all you Dak Prescott haters, you got exactly what you wanted. You want to prove that Cooper Rush is who you keep saying he is? Then he needs to get the ball on the biggest stage. That was a big stage last night. I mean, it's amazing. We're talking about we're talking about a 5-7 team and a 4. I mean, we're talking about a 5-7 team and a 4-8 team, and we're acting like literally this was the doggone Super Bowl or a playoff game. This is a joke, man. I mean, this is a literal joke, but this is what happens when you're a Cowboy fan. I mean, you're 5-7, and you're actually believing Micah Parsons. Even when I showed you the schedule, showed you the playoff maker, you can go see all this stuff, and you could look at all that and say, man, Micah Parsons off his rocker. There's no way this team is going to the playoffs, and especially if you look at Cooper Rush's stats. There is not one indicator that this man is capable of taking you to the playoffs. Capable of winning 7 games in a row. There's nothing that told you that except for Micah Parsons. And you believe Micah Parsons? The same person we've been complaining about the whole season. I'm laughing. I keep watching content creators. They're trying to, we got you on this, Michael Parsons. You didn't have him when you were talking about all the things he was saying wrong in those podcasts. He needs to stop the pod. All this stuff, people, they just go back and forth. Not me. I'm not going back and forth. I know what Michael Parsons is. He's a great player. Yes. Is he immature? Very. And his immaturity is affecting his play. His immaturity affects the way he talks even. And he is too arrogant to see it because Jerry Jones won't get a coach to coach him and let that coach loose on him and say, young man, you either going to get in line or you're going to get gone. Y'all talking about cutting Amani. No, they need a coach in here not to cut Amani. They need a coach in here who Jerry will let tell the superstars, Micah, what you doing, man? You lead by example, man. I don't want to hear all your talk, all this stuff you're doing on your podcast. Keep this team name out of your mouth. Oh, me and Michael Parsons would be at it. It'd be either me or him. It'd probably be me. Because Jerry Jones loves him, but I wouldn't give a doggone. It's me or him. It's me or him. I'm a man. I tell my sons, I'm a man. You will not rule me. Boys don't rule me. Women don't rule me. I'm a man. I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to make it my business to know what's right. And I'm going to live right. And I'm going to try to say the right thing as much as possible based on the facts. And the facts are the facts. Mike McCarthy, he said that Cooper Rush was Rich Gannon. Jerry Jones said, we got the full repertoire. Y'all remember that? Shotgun Cooper Rush pass incomplete. Shotgun Cooper Rush pass incomplete. Y'all want to know what's funny about these 3 incompletions? I remember them clearly. Do y'all know Ferguson was open? He was open. Short left. Do y'all know the incomplete pass to Brandon Cooks? Do y'all know it was man-to-man coverage? It was man-to-man coverage. Cooper Rush, as fast as Brandon Cooks is, he couldn't even put the ball up the sideline far enough so Brandon Cooks could run up under it and at least contest it and probably get the pass interference. Couldn't do it. The play took Avante Turpin, short, left to Turpin. Y'all remember what happened? He tried to throw it, and it was so low, rather than arcing it up so it could get over that corner, it went straight to Turpin, and it was knocked down. Do y'all know that Turpin probably goes to the crib? Turpin probably goes to the crib. There was only one guy over there to beat. Troy Aikman even talked about it. He goes to the crib. We're talking about Amani. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. Shut up. I'm not hearing you. Because this doesn't even happen. This doesn't even happen if they continue to run the ball. But I'm different than everybody else. I'm just being truthful. I know some people are ashamed to say it, but I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not ashamed. I'm tired of the Cooper Rush talk. I'm tired of it. And the way things transpired to me is so fitting. You keep talking this man up. You keep disrespecting your starting quarterback with this man. Y'all need to understand what Michael Parsons is even doing, y'all. Michael Parsons has the unmitigated gall to have so much confidence in Cooper Rush. You know what? I hate to admit it, but I know what I'm seeing from him. Michael Parsons plays harder for Cooper Rush than he does for Dak Prescott. He does. He does. But you know what's funny? He might play harder, still not translating. Still not translating. I showed you the box score. I don't care what anyone tells me. I'm not listening to you. There is no way this man should be registering zeros across the line and he played the whole game, other than the plays he took himself out. So the Cowboys punt. Timeout 5:31. Shotgun Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase. Shotgun Joe Burrow. Lascivious. Shotgun Joe Burrow, incomplete. Jamar Chase. Penalty on Dallas. Shotgun to Brown, right guard, Cincinnati, whatever. Shotgun, Joe Burrow, pass short left to Chase. Shotgun, Joe Burrow, pass right to Sample. Shotgun, Joe Burrow, pass to the middle. Sack. 2-minute warning. Rico punts. This is 2 minutes. This is 2 minutes. And it's crazy to me when you think about how all this is transpiring. 2 minutes. And if I'm not mistaken, let's not make the excuse that Demarion Overshown was out of that when he went out, things changed. They made this stop without Demarion Overshown in the game. They made this stop. They forced this punt with Demarion Overshown not in the game. They punt the ball. And of course, we get one of the craziest mistakes we probably ever seen. But Amani, he muffs the punt, and it's recovered by Cincinnati. And, I've been listening to everybody, and I've been going back and forth on this. Because people have been saying things like Amani, he needs to be cut. I've been listening to all the talk, and I've been going like, man, you know what? He made a very bad mistake. And I don't know exactly what I would do, but as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, so we're saying this is a cuttable offense. Because everyone's like, cut him. What does it change? What does it change? I heard someone today says, well, this sends a message. Sends a message that if you don't do this and you don't do this, you won't be on this team. Well, you better get to doing a whole lot of cutting. You think he's the only one that made mistakes? We can go and rip this game to pieces on how many of the Cowboys defenders made mistakes. How many, and on the offense in particular, Cooper Rush was atrocious. And we're still saying he gives us the best chance to win. And when I see, and we're talking about players, I keep hearing, oh, they know this and they know that, and they should do the right thing, and the coaches shouldn't have to do this and blah, blah, blah. But is this not the epitome of this team? This is the epitome of this team again. Is this anything different than we've seen all season? Might I remind us of the 2 fake punts that we did? Were they successful? No. Now, the funny thing is about this play, everything I'm hearing, this play actually was not planned. That's what they're saying. They didn't call a block. They didn't call a block punt. They're saying he basically got through and blocked the punt. So I want you to think about this. See, now to me, maybe I'm just looking at this because hindsight is 2020. If I call a fake punt, follow me. If I call a fake punt, what do you think I'm going to tell everybody in the huddle? Hey guys, fake punt. If the ball goes behind the line of scrimmage, get it, punch it in, ball game. If the ball goes beyond the line of scrimmage, if it's blocked or tipped, Peter. They say that's what everybody hollers, or either fire. That means everybody get away from the ball. I'm going to call that in the huddle. So now I'm starting to think that maybe Fossil, see, people are listening to Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is saying, well, in that position, that was a bad time to call a block punt. But according to Mike and Fossil, from everything I'm hearing, they didn't call the block punt. And you need to remember, now special teams, I'm saying this because I watched my sons play high school football, and I would listen to coaches. I mean, you're on the sideline. We're close enough to where we can hear what coaches are saying. Now, they can't hear it on the other side, but we can hear it on our side. And we can hear the coach saying certain things if they're going to run. And my sons, what his coach, his high school coach, one of the things he used to love to do was onside kicks. I mean, he did onside kicks so much. I mean, it was literally a part of his game plan every game. He going to do about 3 or 4 of them, even when he got the lead. But when he would do the onside kicks, he would coach them up on what they need to do. Okay, onside kick. Hey, if it come to your side, fall on it. He's telling them stuff like that. Fall on it. You get it, fall on it, or jump on it. Whatever you have to do. He's coaching that stuff up. Even if they're doing a fake punt, he's coaching them up. Because it's a special play. And if it's a special play, you want everyone to be mindful and say, hey, guys, this is this, and this. We're going for the block. So if we go for the block, it go backward, you get it, you run it in. If it goes beyond the line of scrimmage, hey, get away from it. Peter, Peter, Peter. Everyone holler Peter, or fire, fire, fire. Someone scream, tip, tip, tip. So everyone knows what's going on. And when I look at Fausel's reaction on the sideline, it makes me believe that what he's saying is more than likely true. Because when he got the block, did you see? We saw this man emotions. He went from yes, 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 game to no, 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 get away. Too late. Too late. Too late. And when I think about it like that, I'm kind of like, wow, man, this is kind of like a bang, bang play, bang, bang decision. There was not a moment, because I'm telling you, even when you run, anyone who's played football, when you know you're about to run a play that is a very unusual play, you, in that huddle, man, you're like coaching. I mean, even the quarterback, he's coaching it up. He's like, hey, man, blah, blah, blah. We're doing this and this. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. I mean, that's what you're doing. But I'm about to give you the dirty truth. I'm about to give you a real dirty truth. And I don't know if it's a truth. Let me rephrase that. I'm about to give you a real dirty alternative that you might not want to face. Has anybody ever thought that they were all looking at the way Cooper Rush was playing? They've all been looking at the way Cooper Rush has been playing for the last, 3 to 4 weeks. He's been in Dak Prescott's spot, and even they know they're not dumb. This dude is only good for 2 touchdowns. We're only good for 20 points when he plays. Has anybody ever thought that Amani said, hey, man, if I can, I'm going to take this game into my own hands, and maybe I can return it so we don't even have to worry about Cooper Rush losing it. Let me remind you. Let me go back. You're sitting on the sidelines and you're watching Cooper Rush skip balls off the carpet. Do you notice what this description says? Short left, incomplete deep, short left. He's skipping them off the carpet. He's throwing them short. So you're telling me, everybody, that you're getting this ball. You're going to trust. You're going to trust Cooper Rush. Just telling you. I don't think we're understanding the mindset of these people. They're watching the game. They're playing the game. And if I'm looking at the game, I don't know what anyone else is watching, but Cooper Rush is stinking it up out there. Troy Aikman was saying it. He was trying to be very diplomatic in how he was saying it. But make no mistake about it, Troy Aikman was telling you, man, this dude is stinking it up out here. You have to go downfield. You have to. He had 1 completion for 11 in the first half, 1 completion for 16 in the second half. He is a liability anything past 10 yards, and you're not beating teams like that. And so Mike McCarthy, the reality is the best thing he could have did was run the ball. And you probably don't even get to this. None of this. You don't even get to it. You probably don't get to this if they call the face mask. You don't get to this. But I believe everything happened the way that it should. And so we get to this point, and then I'm going to read some of your comments. Appreciate you just listening to what I'm saying. And I'm going to read some of your stuff so I can listen to what you're saying. But something else strange happens. So they get the ball back. they get the ball back. Let me get to my spot. So the Cincinnati Bengals, they get the ball back after that crazy chain of events. And this is why I say, as a player, someone who, when you talk about being a leader of men, see, even after the Amani play, see, what a leader does is he regroups. Hold on, there's been a mistake. Everybody don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Let's regroup. Let's regroup and let's get back out here and let's do what we have to do. And so after this punt, it's 2 minutes. But let me show you something. I thought this was very interesting. So at the minute and 53 mark, Joe Burrow passed short to Lascivious, ran out of bounds, 7 yards. A minute 49 to go, C. Brown up the middle to the Dallas 40, 10 yards. A minute 9 to go, Joe Burrow, short pass to Jamar Chase, 40 yards. Now watch this. The Cowboys right here are reeling. This defense is reeling. And the one thing, we need, and I'm not saying anything bad about Mike Zimmer, but I'm going to tell you what a Bill Belichick would have done. A Bill Belichick, even after that mistake, Bill Belichick would have told that defense, forget about that play. Forget about it. Forget about it. Let's get out here and let's stop them again. Because might I remind all of us, including Micah Parsons, you can cry me a river, Micah Parsons, but do you realize you got the ball? You had an opportunity to stop them from scoring the touchdown? Nobody talking about that. Nobody's talking about that. They had the opportunity to stop them again. They did. They had the opportunity to stop them. But if you look at these plays, here's the punt, the recovery, and all of these things. Joe Burrow, short pass at the 57 yards. C. Brown up the middle to the Dallas 40, 10 yards. What's happening? What's going on right here? What's happening with the defense? Don't get me overshown, because they'd already done it before. They had already stopped them to get the punt. So you can't do it again. Do y'all realize? Put yourself back in evaluation mode. We're getting too emotional. Put yourself back in evaluation mode. This is exactly what you wanted to see. Can the defense rise to the occasion? Can they do it? You know why I brought up the Pete Carroll play? You know why I brought that up, right? I brought that up simply because if the New England Patriots defense with the Seattle Seahawks that deep in their territory, we're talking about inside the 3-yard line, I'm thinking. If I just say there's nothing we can do, they have Marshawn Lynch, they're going to pitch it to Marshawn Lynch, hand it to Marshawn Lynch, he's going to run it in for the touchdown. Me as a defender, I'm going to be real with you, I'm probably going to give up. Because there's no way we can stop them. They've already drove this far, there's no way we can stop them. But if I got the right defensive mind, if I got the right coach, if I've been watching film, that if the opportunity arises, I'm going to make a play. I'm not giving up. I'm going to make a play. I'm going to look for something. I'm going to look. You got to understand, people don't understand what's going through the minds of athletes. And I'm not telling you I'm in his head. I'm telling you what has to happen in his head. He talked about it. He had watched the film. Belichick had him watching the film. And Butler lighting up, hope against hope. He says, hold on a second. I know they're not about to do this. I know they're not this crazy. I guarantee he's thinking something like that in his mind. And I bet you when Russ dropped back to pass, hallelujah, Butler stepped right in front of that thing and said, Seattle, we got you. You won't be repeating today. We got you. Not only do we have an interception, we got Tom bleeping Brady. It's over. We got Tom bleeping Brady. It's over. That's how you program your team. You don't give up. I don't care what it looks like. Regroup. Regroup. Get focused. Make a stop. That's what championship teams do, y'all. I'm just being real. That's what they do. They make a stop. I don't care. You don't think that y'all remember last year in the Super Bowl? Patrick Mahomes threw an interception. In case anyone doesn't remember, he throws an interception. Defense says, "Hey, Pat, we got you. Don't worry. They won't score a point. We got you. And if they do, it won't be more than 3. Don't worry, Pat. We got you. We're getting you the ball back. We got you. We're not letting Brock Purdy beat you. We got you. We got you." That's what you do. But this defense, this team, everything we saw last night, it's the epitome of this season. We got people who are emotionally unstable. We got people who are doing what they want to do. We got people. Y'all remember what Dak Prescott was saying early in the season? I keep trying to get these guys to have a mindset of forget about the last play. You want to know why Michael Parsons can't be the leader on this defense? You got to tell your team, forget the last play. Hey, Amani, don't worry about it. We got you. We got you, Amani. We got you. This won't even be a conversation tomorrow. If it do, it'll be short because we're about to go out here and we're about to stop them and we're still going to win this game. That's what you tell your team. Short memory. Short memory. I taught my son this. I told him, "Hey, son, you want to play cornerback? Let me tell you something. You better have a short memory because you're going to get burned. You will get caught on, even though he didn't get caught on but one time. And even when they got to the playoffs, he got burned one time in the playoffs, and he still came back and made one of the plays of the game because you have to have a short memory in this game. If you play long enough, you're going to get beat. Period in the story. It's not what happened. It's not the fact that you get beat. It's what you do after you get beat. It's not the fact that Amani made a mistake. What did the team do after they made a mistake? Michael Parsons, I can't give you any slack because you got back on the field. And you can't tell me you didn't have Overshown because you stopped them the previous drive. That's what got the punt even going. You stopped them with Overshown. Amani make the mistake. No, regroup. Hey, guys, this is what a leader does. Guys, calm down. Breathe. Listen to what the coach gonna give us. Let's execute. We've already done it once. We can do it again. We can do it again. Let's stop them. Look at what happened. They didn't stop them. But you know what's fascinating? Y'all want to know what's fascinating? Not only did Michael Parsons get an opportunity to stop Joe Burrow. Yeah, he got the opportunity to stop him. And he didn't stop him. You want to know what's even crazier? The Dallas Cowboys got the ball back on offense again. Let's blame Amani, though, y'all. Let's blame Amani because he made a mistake. Because no other football player makes a mistake. None of them. Yes, they're all making mistakes. And I'm not downplaying that mistake. Yes, it was crucial. Now let me put my evaluation hat back on. Crucial mistake at a crucial moment. How do we respond? Help me, somebody. It's not the mistakes you make. What do you do after the mistake? I'm built different. I don't care. People can complain all they want to. I'm built different. I'm built different. I don't operate like that. I'm built different. I got my man. I got my teammates back. I got my teammates back. Amani, you made a stupid mistake. Calm down. Defense. Let's go out here and get this ball back. We're going to win this game. We're not letting Cincinnati beat us at home. We just stopped Joe Burrow. We made him pump before. We can stop him again. We can hold him to a field goal. We got Brandon Aubrey. We got Brandon Aubrey. We might bend, but we won't break. We got Brandon Aubrey. They make it 23-20. Guess what? We can get 23-20. We can make it 23-23. You got to. Don't be cheerleading over here talking about we're going to the playoffs. Come out here and lead, man. Hey, we're about to stop them. Mike, give us something. We're about to stop them. Do y'all know Michael Parsons could line up anywhere he wanted to last night? He could have been a game changer. When you get that opportunity, man, change the game. Change it. You trying to will the playoffs? No, bro. You go out there and you will a play. You say, nah, you're not stopping me on this one. You're not stopping me. And if you attempt to hold me, man, I'm going to do so much that the referee not going to have no choice but to call this thing, but you're not going to do it. I'm about to make a play. Everything we saw last night is what we've been seeing the whole season. And we got blinded by a cheerleader rather than a leader. Everything we saw last night, it's exactly what's been happening the whole season. We come out of the game, we're blaming this player, we're blaming this coach, we're blaming and blaming and blaming, and then we got responses, emotional responses, and everybody's doing this. No, shut up for a moment and just watch the game and understand what you watched. Now you see what your team looks like under pressure, because this is what we needed to see. What is this team when something like that happens? Who will be the ones who will rise to the top and tell the team settle down? This is what Dak Prescott has been trying to teach this team for years, and they will not learn. See, we keep talking about Dak isn't a great leader. No, we don't like the kind of leader that he is, because when Dak makes a mistake, even Dak says, I made a mistake, forget about it, keep playing. And then we'll call it garbage time because Dak is still trying to play, still trying to bring the team back. What else is he supposed to do? Do what they did last night? Oh, Amani made a mistake. Go ahead and let him score. Amani made a mistake. Let's not go out and score. Because I'm ready to cry already. No, I'm not crying tonight. I'm not crying. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. Freddie ain't on here tonight, but I'm sorry. I'm a man. I'll tell my players, hey, man, now we winning this. We're winning this for Demo. We're going to win this for Demo tonight. I'm not going out like this. We're going to win this thing. Hey, Amani, you made a dumb mistake. Nope. That ain't going to stop us. We're going to win this game for Demo. I don't need your tears. I need your play. I need your leadership. I need your play on the field. I don't need all your talking. I don't need what you got to tell me. I don't need you making excuses for what you did after the game. No, man. We asking this man about stuff after the game. Nah, man, tell me about the game, bro, because I'm looking at you got goose eggs all the way across. Now, give him the doggone about you crying. I'll leave that for them other creators. I'll let them make excuses for Amari Cooper. I'm sorry, not Amari Cooper, Michael Parsons. I'll let them make excuses for Michael Parsons. I'm just going to tell you what I saw. And again, Cooper Rush. I don't dislike Cooper Rush. I like Cooper Rush. He looks like a great guy. Seems like he's pretty smart. Problem is, he just doesn't have the ability that they're trying to put on him. He don't have the ability to do what they want him to do. He doesn't. Do y'all know they got the ball back with 1 minute and 1 second to go? All 3 timeouts, if I'm not mistaken. Do y'all realize that 1 minute and 1 second is an eternity in a football game? Watch this. You want to know what even makes it crazier? You're playing the trash Cincinnati Bengals defense. Their defense is terrible. It's terrible. And it's a travesty that we didn't put up 14 or 21 more points on them in the second half. Their defense is terrible. But watch this part. Do you know what kind of defense Cincinnati was in? I would bet you that Cincinnati knew the Cowboys were going to pass, and they had already relegated themselves to a pass defense. And do you not realize that with 1 minute and 1 second to go and 3 timeouts on the 30, how much you bet Rico Dowdle could have ran probably for another 30 or 40 yards? Y'all talking to money. No, I'm telling you what happened. What we've seen happen almost all the season. Poor situational football, poor decisions, emotional reactions, all kinds of nonsense going on out there, and we're not comprehending that because we're stuck on a play that Amani made. Stop sticking on one bad play. Get back in the game and keep on trying. It wasn't 31-20. It was 27-20. All you needed was a touchdown. You got CeeDee Lamb, and the film shows. Cooper Rush, had he looked up, CeeDee Lamb was wide open, and there was nothing but him and one defender. I'm telling you, CeeDee Lamb probably gets that touchdown. But what does Mike McCarthy do? 1 minute and 1 second to go. Cooper Rush, short pass right, CeeDee Lamb to Dallas, 45, 15 yards. Timeout, number 1 by Dallas, 53 seconds to go. So you're telling me you got a chunk play, 15 yards. You're telling me right here you can't say, let's get him with Rico Dowdle. Let's see if he can get us about 15-20. Nope. Shotgun, Cooper Rush scrambles up the middle to the Dallas 48, 3 yards. No huddle, 35 seconds to go. Cooper Rush sacked at the Dallas 40 by who? Hendrickson. Boy, I'm about to tell you something you're not going to like if you're a Michael Parsons apologist. Do y'all know I didn't hear this man's name? I didn't hear Hendrickson's name. I didn't hear Hendrickson's name pretty much all night. Except for when it counted. This is one of the biggest plays in the game. This is exactly what Michael Parsons should have went out and did. Do y'all know that Hendrickson tackled Cooper Rush and the guy who was blocking him? That's what Hendrickson did. And I'm not sure if it's this play. I'm going to look back at some and look at it again, but it might have been this exact play. I'm going to look at the box score in just a moment. Hendrickson made a huge play. Don't talk about it, be about it. Don't talk about it, be about it. Make a play. Make a play. Let this be a signature game where everyone says, whoa, Michael took the game over. He took it over. Timeout number 2, Dallas, 31 seconds to go. Shotgun, Cooper Rush, short middle to Ferguson, 48 to the Dallas 48, 8 yards. Timeout number 3, 24 seconds to go. And I want you to envision something. The Cowboys had plenty of time to score. But again, I wasn't mad. You know why? I wasn't mad. This is exactly what I wanted the Cowboy fans to see. We're blaming Amani. No, Cooper Rush said it in his own post-game interview. He said we failed. He said even after the Amani mistake, we got the ball back. We didn't do nothing with it. Thank you, Cooper Rush, for telling the truth. Thank you. Because the reality is it's him who's doing the failing, because if you'll notice, it's strange that every time you see a missed pass, you keep saying, wherever it was incomplete, the ball was short. It was short. And even on this one, I can't remember if it's this one or this one, but if you go back and look at the film, CeeDee Lamb was wide open and probably goes to the crib, and if not, he gets close. And then, of course, Joe Burrow kneels, ball game. I know we like to say things that games come down to one play. Games come down to a whole lot of plays. They do. But I want to remind us all, the reason why the Cowboys lost the way they did, because the same way they lost is the same way they had been pretty much winning. I was looking at the article. I had to go back and look at it. The Washington Commanders, that when the kicker missed the extra point, and I didn't see the response to him like people were having toward Amani. And that was a critical game for the Commanders. But he wound up going on injured reserve because he said there was something wrong with his hip. And even then, he didn't try to give any excuses. But at the same time, I didn't see anyone saying, other than CeeDee Lamb, because CeeDee Lamb was actually thanking him. I think he used to be CeeDee Lamb's kicker in college. CeeDee Lamb was thanking him for helping the Cowboys win the game. But see, we went out here, we came out of that game saying that we won that game because we acted like we dominated the Washington Commanders. But I told you even during that win, Kevontae Turpin did Cooper Rush a favor. Because Kevontae Turpin put Cooper Rush in a situation to where we will never know what would have happened had they made the extra point and the game was tied up and then Cooper Rush had to go down there and get a score. We'll never know what would have happened. But guess what? We know in this one. We know in this one what happened. We know what happened in this one, the drive before the Cincinnati Bengals got the ball. We know what happened in this one when the defense would win against Cincinnati. Now I done told you. And now you know again what happened when the Cowboys got the ball. And Mike McCarthy indicted himself. He put the ball in the hands of Cooper Rush, who he said was like Rich Gannon, who his owner said was, we can do the whole repertoire. There's not going to be any fall off. Miss me is stupid. Richard, what's going on? He said Micah being an example, instead of Micah being an example to younger players, he's being an example of who not to be and what not to do as a player. Exactly. There's no other way to get around it, Richard. It's the truth. It's the truth. Danny said, I love sports as a competition because it's fun and exciting. I'm energetic because it's fun. It's fun because who's leader of the team? Because I'm confused who is the leader. Dak Prescott. Ask Cooper Rush who the leader of this team is. Cooper Rush will tell you straight out. Gabe said, I remember LeBron James running off the court in Boston before a playoff game ended, before the infamous decision. LeBron had too mature from that. Oh, yeah, he had to mature from that. And now Michael must evolve from this and change prima donna mentality. Yep. Exactly. Jay Army, what's going on? He said, what do you think would make Jerry step down as owner and GM of the GM? The Commanders forced their GM to step down by the fans forcing him out. And why can't Dallas force Jerry out? Because we need change from the top. Because Dan Snyder, he did nothing for the NFL compared to what Jerry has done. Jerry is still doing things behind the scenes that's going to set the NFL up for years to come. Years to come. That's why they can't do nothing with Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has been a huge part of this league being successful. Robert said, and by the way, there was absolutely no guarantee Rush was going to get them in position to kick that field goal had they recovered the block. You had to like the odds, but you couldn't guarantee. And Robert, I know we might not be thinking this, but maybe that's what went through Amani's head. Maybe I can fix it to where Cooper Rush doesn't have to do a whole lot. Because if I'm watching that game, Cooper Rush is thinking it up. Let me get a super chat in real quick. Rod, what's going on? Boy, what you doing up this late? Appreciate you. Let me get to some more of your comments here. Danny, we knew it from the start the Cowboys suck. And Danny, the fan base had fooled themselves into thinking the Cowboys were a good team. We won't put ourselves in evaluation mode. We keep saying we are, but we're not. We're not in evaluation mode. We were literally acting like we were in playoff mode. We were not in playoff mode. I'm sorry, we're not. And shame on this franchise to think that we could go 7-0 with Cooper Rush. When there's nothing about this man that has shown this franchise it can go 7-0. Did I not tell y'all earlier in the season, the better the competition, the more Cooper Rush declines. The more he declines. It is. Bring back Jimmy. Oh, no, like I told you, hey, Danny, you will not get Jimmy off that boat. They're paying this man a bunch of money. A bunch of money. He ain't coming off that boat to coach the Cowboys. What's good, D-Rail? You ain't doing it. Robert M., Michael generated 0 stat line, 0. How does a player, if he's alleged status, do that? Nobody's talking about that. I am. But I've been listening to creators all day, and they've been making excuses for Michael Parsons. Some of the same creators I heard criticizing him. And rightfully so. I'm sorry, man. My family will tell you I'm not an emotional. I don't think I don't get emotional. But I don't let people's emotions rule my thoughts and rule against what I'm watching as in reason and logic. I do not do it. I do not do it. The rookie who replaced Overshawn, Leafau, actually played. Yes, Leafau played really good. And again, it's evaluation mode. I mean, you get to see what you have because, you know what, man? Please don't let Demarion Overshawn be the black Sean Lee. Sean Lee, first ballot Hall of Famer, if he could stay healthy. Demarion Overshawn is an absolute beast. And I don't know if he's injury prone. I think this injury last night was a freak accident because he had a huge lineman fall on his leg. But this kid, man, he's the heart and soul. And it really, now let's go back into evaluation mode. How does this team respond? I bet if Michael played linebacker, he would have had more tackles. For sure. And now they're talking about they're going to probably play him at linebacker. They said they're going to probably play him at linebacker. Jerry says Cowboys for sure. Most Cowboys fans are not blaming Rush at all. They think he balled and got screwed by 27. They're not looking at the tape. They're not looking at the stat lines. They didn't look at the game. I said it last night. This man was atrocious. Richard said, you think Overshawn will play like he was playing now when he comes back? I do, Richard, because they said that it was no nerve the meniscus, I think, was intact, and they said no nerve damage. No nerve damage, so he should be fine. Yeah, he should be really good to go. D-Rail said, unfortunately, I think Overshawn is another Sean Lee. Oh, man, I know. I hope not. I pray not. He's just too good of a soul, just like Sean Lee was. Real good guy. I'm surprised that Sean Lee not coaching. Miss Matrix says, it was the Baltimore game. Yes, Burrow got face mask on the final play of the game. No flag, blatant. We don't even realize, Miss Matrix. That's the exact point I was making. We might not even get to this point if they call that face mask. It would have been 27-0. It would have been 27-20 before that, I believe. Paul said, okay, the fumble that went against us, if you want to flip calls. Okay, say it a little bit clearer. Let me see. Paul says again, no one again is talking about the bobble catch fumble. The bobble catch fumble. Oh, yeah, the bobble catch fumble. Yeah, it wasn't a catch though. I mean, yeah, it wasn't a catch. The Cincinnati, the guy when he didn't get possession of it. Yeah, he didn't get possession of it. Richard says we could have had 3 touchdowns if Cooper would have thrown it to 87 at the top left corner of in the end zone instead of throwing it down the middle. Now, Richard, Troy Aikman's made this evaluation. I said this before the game. They say how do they put it? They say he have a quick release. I said he doesn't have a quick release. He makes quick decisions. And Cooper Rush will typically only throw the ball to the player that the play is designed to. He's only throwing to the primary receiver. It's 1, maybe 2, he done. He won't look to the left. If he's going to the left, he won't look to the right. He's not built like that. He's not built like that. And he missed some things. What's going on, DJ? Rich Gannon. Man, he said, hell no, man. Man, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. And Mike McCarthy, bro. Mike McCarthy. He tried to let Cooper Rush go down in infamy. He did. Could y'all imagine what would have happened had Cooper Rush did the same thing he did in the Cincinnati game in 2022? Y'all might not remember in 2022 what happened. Cooper Rush basically had the last drive of the game, drove him down, put him in field goal range, beat Joe Burrow. Beat him. Sure did. And Mike tried to give him every opportunity to win. Every opportunity. Yep. It's because he's not Mahomes, man. I'm telling you, man. What's going on, CB? Yes, sir. Gabe said, Jerry Jones even said they were better off not blocking that punt and getting the ball deep in their own goal than deep in Cincinnati territory. Do you believe that foolishness? And see, Jerry is mistaken, Gabe. They didn't call a block punt. He beat the coverage and got through and blocked the punt. Now, what he did, Jerry crazy. That was one of the best things that could have happened. Because if you don't mess with the ball, you're probably getting the ball somewhere up near the 40, 45 on your own 40, 45. Unfortunately, Amani made a bad mistake. He did. There's no getting around it. Robert said they keep telling us that playing Russ is the best chance to win. What are they were not telling us? Why they refuse to give Trey Lance any opportunity to prove them wrong? Because I got a strange feeling. Jerry wants to keep Trey Lance around to be the next Cooper Rush. I've been telling y'all, I'm sorry, I just got too much affinity for Trey Lance. I do not want this man to be a career backup because he's more talented than Cooper Rush. I want once and for all, let's just see what Trey Lance has for a whole season. Just one season. What is he? What is he? I got a strange feeling Jerry is trying to hold this man back so he can keep him as a backup. Yep, he didn't want Lynch to be the reason. He didn't want him to be the reason. Yep, crazy slant play. And Butler read it like, man, Butler read it from the film. And you think about Mike McCarthy. Do y'all know what happens if Mike McCarthy runs Rico Dowdle 25 times? Rico Dowdle probably amasses 200 yards rushing, probably one touchdown, 200 yards rushing. Rico Dowdle would be the hero of the game. And you know what people will be saying? Which they're already still saying? Mike McCarthy should have been running Rico Dowdle all along, and Rico Dowdle should have been the starter all along, which I've been screaming that from the beginning. I have not relented. They should have been running Rico Dowdle 25 times a game. Dak Prescott, I believe, would not be hurt, and I believe this team would be winning more games because Rico Dowdle is more than capable. He is. Half-yard line. Carroll didn't feel like Lynch could be the type of leader he wanted. Yep. And Mike McCarthy, all that Rich Gannon talk, man, I'm like, this dude tripping. He gave Cooper Rush the opportunity. Yep. Coaches outsmart themselves all the time. Pete Carroll got cute in that Super Bowl, and it cost him. Guess what happened to Mike McCarthy? Mike McCarthy got cute. And it cost him. And everybody's still blaming Amani. If Eminem is rehired as coach, it proves Jerry is lazy. And I'll further check out. DJ. Jerry's setting this thing up. But it also sounds like, because I said this when I first heard this thing about Bill Belichick. It seems to me that Bill Belichick is maybe sending a message to these pro teams. I'll go coach college if you don't give me what I want. Because, man, I'm hearing some crazy stuff. They're talking about that in his interview, he brought in some 400-page or this huge book of demands that he had if he becomes the coach. Wow. Really, Bill? I don't know. They keep talking about he's a shoe-in for North Carolina, but all of a sudden I noticed that and I'll do some of this stuff tomorrow, but Jerry Jones all of a sudden, man, Jerry Jones was like really talking him up all of a sudden in the press conference. CB said, "You right, bro. I was over here talking. Yep. He says, gave Rush the chance. He folded. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less, CB. People can call it what they want to. Mike McCarthy, in his arrogance, it seemed like to me he wanted to be proven right. Cooper Rush is good, y'all. No. Cooper Rush is a backup. When asked about Trey Lance starting, Jerry Jones said, I don't think so. Steele says, Jerry Jones says that at least wants y'all to believe Cooper Rush is the best chance to win. Gabe, I said this, and it may sound crazy to some. I think that Cooper Rush is our best chance to lose. That's what I think. I think he's the best chance to lose. Because if you get a game that's going to be close, and this team seems to keep being close at certain points in the game, he's not going to pull it off. And I think Jerry knows it. He's not going to pull it off. And the problem with Trey Lance, I'm telling y'all, I could be wrong. I'm telling you, I'm giving my opinion. But when Trey Lance got in that game, man, it just looked like he was in a different mode. The urgency was there. He was like he was a half step faster than everybody on the team. Trey Lance was out there like, hey, man, I'm trying to win. I'm trying to get some attention in this league. I don't think they want that. Yep, CB, and people need to admit it. And this is why, for me, this game was very fitting. Cooper Rush has been carried by this defense. He's been carried by the special teams. When is he going to do his part? What game were we going to see Cooper Rush do his part? They gave him 2 opportunities. He failed. And he said it himself. Failed. Rush had 16 completions for 166 yards. Ridiculous. We had 4 penalties. 4. We held Cincinnati to 74 yards running and still lost. Secondary played terrible. Y'all remember what I said? I said this before the game too. Zimmer's defense, he's done more with less. He's done a real good job. You know what's betrayed him all year long? His secondary play. His secondary play has betrayed him all year long, and it did it again. It did it again. It did it again. Yep. Jerry's telling everybody he thinks Trey Lance is going to replace Dak. Well, I guess if he does, the only problem is Trey Lance by that time would be almost 30 years old. I don't believe him. Cooper Rush, noodle arm, storing passes to the man. You know what's crazy? If I'm not mistaken, I think even Clarence Hill was kind of alluding to that noodle arm thing. Man, he got a noodle arm. Man, he does. This season has exposed all the BS. Hey, man, y'all remember what Cat Williams said? Cat Williams said everyone will be exposed. It's happening to the Dallas Cowboys. It's happening to Jerry Jones. It's happening. All of it. Cooper Rush's longest yesterday went 16 yards. He could not push the ball downfield. And that's what Troy kept saying. Yep, not cut. It was one bad play. It was a bad play. But it's not like they didn't get the ball back. Now, I could see everyone crying if it was 15 seconds to go. I don't know, it's something weird going on, and he makes that play. But you still had plenty of time. The defense had an opportunity to make a stop. That's what Hendrickson did. And the offense had an opportunity to get the ball back. Robert said, I don't have a problem with Amani in the moment. He's trying to make a play, and he'll learn from that. Let's talk about Rush's inability to throw a pass more than 20 yards in the air. Exactly. It's amazing no one's talking about his performance. Better off starting Will Grill. Chenard, they don't want that. You don't want a guy here playing who's trying to get a job. You do not want that. You get a guy here trying to get a job, he's going to come out here and do something you don't want him to do. He's going to win some games. You don't want it. They don't want it. Robert said, not trying to simplify. Everything can and should absolutely be laid squarely at the feet of Jerry Jones. All in. Ridiculous. Yep. Exactly. By the way, Dallas won't have a 4th round pick in the upcoming draft. And yet, yes. Yep. Again. Could we imagine if the Cowboys had a 4th round draft pick and it looks like, man, I'm telling you, I am going to be shocked if the Cowboys win another game. I'm going to be very surprised if the Cowboys win another game. I am. I think the last game they have a chance to win is the Carolina Panthers. And the Carolina Panthers, they gave the Bucs. They took the Bucs to overtime. They gave the Philadelphia Eagles all they could handle. And they're about to, the Cowboys, and the way they're already acting right now, the way the Cowboys are acting right now, and we're going right into that game on Sunday. I don't know if this team is emotionally ready to play anybody right now. I don't know. I don't think they are. And the reason why they're not emotionally ready to play is because they were not doing what championship teams do, y'all. And this is why I say, keep your evaluation hat on, keep watching this team, keep cheering them on, and keep watching the players who rise to the top. I don't think they are emotionally ready to go on to the next game. Because rather than them going one game at a time, even though they would say it from time to time, these jokers were talking playoffs when their own destiny was not in their own hands. They were talking playoffs. Don't talk playoffs, man, when you don't control your own destiny. Talk winning. Talk executing. Talk about one game at a time. You keep your team micro-focused. Everybody beat the man in front of them. Every man do their job. Know where you're supposed to be. Be there. This is the stuff Dak Prescott was talking about. Dak Prescott sounds a lot like, if you pay attention, not as forward as Troy Aikman was. Because Troy Aikman, we heard the sideline stuff with Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman was like, I'm tired of this. Dak Prescott was doing it in the press. Dak was doing it in the press. And Dak was saying little things. All the things we're seeing is exactly the stuff Dak was talking about. The lack of focus on this team, how this team dwells on plays, how this team dwells on things. And this team is not even united. This team's not united. Something's got to galvanize this team. It does. Something has to galvanize it. And the problem is, as long as the owner keeps doing what he's doing, it's going to be a problem. And you think about this, Robert. We will not know what Jonathan Mingo is until we get the next season. We won't know what he is because he's not a West Coast wide receiver in a sense. Jonathan Mingo is a go down the field, throw it up in the air, I'll go get it wide receiver. Cooper Rush can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Paul said, bingo, correct. He says, that's why I was shocked when Fisher said we should have not tried to even block the punt. That's crazy talk. That actually was one of the best plays of the game. You actually got what you wanted because that's what you needed for Cooper Rush. What did I tell you? The formula for Cooper Rush is defense, lights out. Special teams, what did I say? They have to be special. That's the Cooper Rush formula. Everybody got to play great around Cooper Rush except for Cooper Rush. He gets to be mediocre. He does. That's what he gets to do. He gets to be 51%. We literally were about to go out and sing the praises of this man on 51% pass completions. That's what people were ready to do. When in reality, it would have been the defense who went lights out on him and the blocked punt. It would have sealed the deal, or at least would have helped to seal the deal. The Dallas Cowboys won't have a fourth. Yep. Yet they still refuse to play Trey. Yep. And Jonathan Mingo. I'm sorry. We should be seeing more Jonathan Mingo. We should be seeing more Jonathan Mingo. We should. We should. We should. Willie T, what's going on? Michael should have been lined up over the center on a blitz at least once. Willie, you know what's crazy? They told him he could do whatever he wanted to do. Line up where he want to. Man, I'm telling you, they couldn't tell me that. Not with that man's skill. They couldn't tell me that. Man, I'd be lined up everywhere. Man, they'd messed around. I'd have been lined up over there by the cornerbacks. I mean, I'd have been lined up like I'm on the slot. I'd have been lined up like I'm about to double the slot and come from a blitz over there. They told this man he could do what he wanted to do. Kitty boy, the Cowboys wanted Cooper Rush to be the hero and it backfired. I'm telling you. CeeDee Lamb could have went to the crib and Ferguson was wide open. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Replacing D-Law is paramount. D-Law gonna have the last laugh on this. He is. Now, Leo Fowler look pretty good. Nealon is, I think he's good. But I'm telling you, I'm going to be very interested to see where does D-Law go for the last quarter of his career. And I'm very interested to see where does Zach Martin go. Because I will not be surprised if you see them playing for one of these teams like Cincinnati. I'm going to tell you right now, if I was a player in this league and I'm older, and I know I've already got the bag, Zach Martin will be getting paid by the Cowboys even when he's gone. Even when they cut him, they're still going to be paying him in a sense. If I'm a player, if I'm a player like him and D-Law, I would literally be hunting for a team like Cincinnati. The way Joe Burrow is playing, I wouldn't even have to be even in the mid-pack of paid players to go play with the Cincinnati Bengals, because the only reason I'm going now to play is to get that chip. I'm going to get the chip now. So I'm going to play for a little bit less if that's what it requires to be on a team like the Cincinnati Bengals. If I'm an older player and I'm good, I'd go play for him. I would. You're right, Robert. Those players are open all night. Mahomes' defense has always bailed him out. They've been doing it here lately. Let the media tell it. It's only Mahomes that finds a way to win. Yeah. Man, so many of these quarterbacks do that stuff. Yeah. Find a quality backup quarterback and draft a quarterback. Let's move from rush. And you know what? And as much as I love Dak Prescott, everything we're watching, and even as I watch Dak Prescott's life evolve, now Dak Prescott is about to have his second child. He's about to get married. This team is getting younger. Dak is getting older. Dak, to me, is about to hit that Matt Stafford point, to where I think there are a lot of teams who think Dak Prescott is good, but he doesn't have the weapons around him. Dak has 3 more years in Dallas. I think he at least has 3 more years. It's a 4-year deal, but I think we're only going to see 3. I don't think they'll draft a quarterback to take Dak's spot next year. I think they'll get that quarterback the year after. If not 226, I'm thinking they'll probably get him in 2027. Because I think in 2026, I keep saying this, I think the Cowboys are going to win the chip in 2026. I think next year, in spite of Jerry Jones, I think they're probably going to have a better draft. It'll all depend on who they get to coach. But I think that what we're watching, this is why I have my evaluation hat on, because even in Micah Parsons, I still got hope. I hope that he's learning from some of this stuff. And number 2, I really do think Micah Parsons needs a veteran to play alongside him and to be in the locker room, one who has a presence large enough that can take him under his arms and say, hold on, bro, you're not ready to lead yet. Let me teach you how to do it. Let me teach you how to do it. He wants to be self-appointed. No, you can't be self-appointed, Mike. You have to earn that. And right now, you're not earning that. And he needs somebody to help him earn it. And they got to get somebody that can help bring the best out of this young man. They do. Rush doesn't have the arm to drive down the field to win. No, he does. They don't. He doesn't. Michael doesn't want to move around. And it showed. I mean, Troy put him on Front Street. Troy said he's only moved around 4 times. I mean, Troy put him on Front Street. He's like, man, Zimmer doesn't do that. And Zimmer gave you the power to do what you want. Yep. 27 has been getting crucified. And you know what I'm really laughing at, Jared? I'm laughing at the fact that they're mad at Mike McCarthy. They're mad at Bones Fossil. They're mad. Is that his name? Bones Fossil? They're mad at other teammates who are speaking up for Amani. The media is terrible. The media is terrible. What should they be doing? Should they be vilifying him too? Yeah, he the reason why we lost the game. Yeah, that's what they ought to be saying, right? Micah Parsons, right? You want Micah Parsons to come out and say, oh, yeah, Monty's the reason why we lost the game. You want CeeDee Lamb to say, yeah, man, he missed me. I was wide open all night long. That's what you want to, we don't want CeeDee to say that about Cooper Rush. But we want everybody to say it's because of Amani he lost the game. What? This team is in the media too much. It's in the media too much. What can galvanize this team? What can galvanize them? That's my question. What can galvanize them? I just don't know. Is there something that can galvanize this team? The owner is not going to do it. He's not going to do it. The head coach is not going to do it. I think Mike Zimmer doesn't want to overstep his boundaries. He can't do it. Because I can tell you this, if Mike Zimmer was the coach of this team, Mike Zimmer would be saying some stuff that some people wouldn't want to hear. He would be. What can galvanize this team? The storyline was Bengals kicker dating a Cowboys cheerleader. What? For real? Wow. I got to check that out. Darrell said a large majority of the fan base is emotionally unstable. So when Dak isn't at all emotionally expressive, they get mad. You just dropped a bomb. And that's the problem Dak has with this team. They're too emotional. See, some of y'all are like me. I'm different. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I'm just different. I'm just not an emotional fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I've been here. I've been here. I've been here. I saw Roger Staubach play. I've been here. I saw Troy Aikman win Super Bowls. Some people heard about it. No, I saw it. I saw the effect that it had on East Texas, the Dallas areas. I saw it. I saw what all these things look like. I saw what this team was before Jerry Jones. I saw what this team was when Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson were together. And now I continue to see what this team is with Jerry Jones ever since he let go of Jimmy Johnson. He destroyed this team's culture. And everything we're seeing is a result of it. And I'm telling you, and this is one of the reasons why I have so much respect for Dak Prescott. He's the one piece that don't fit on this team. And it's not because he's not good. He doesn't fit this team because he's not a reflection of the owner. Dak is a throwback to these old school quarterbacks. He is. He's a throwback. This team is media driven. It's a crying shame. Mike Fisher says it all the time. It's an advertising agency playing football. That's what it is. And I wish Micah Parsons would stop advertising himself. Y'all might not pay attention. Y'all might not be realizing he's advertising himself. He keeps saying, as the leader of this team, Micah Parsons, who made you the leader of the team? Who made you the leader? Who? Who made you the leader? You're not the leader of the team, Michael. You're not. You're not the leader of the team. Dak Prescott is. Dak Prescott is showing you what leadership is. I don't think I've seen anything like it. Have y'all noticed have y'all noticed that Dak Prescott continues to be at the home games? He would probably go to the away games, but they're telling him that he can't. He goes to the home games and he sits in there with the offensive coaches. He's watching the plays. He's absorbing everything they're doing. And what Dak is doing is what the younger generation has to learn how to do. Mental reps. Deion Sanders did it a lot. People don't realize it. Mental reps. You can't be on the field. You envision yourself on the field. You listen to the plays, what you would do, what you're seeing. You're making notes of what was there, what wasn't there, what you could have did. And I'm sure Dak's going to go back and try to help Cooper Rush. But this fan base, and I told y'all this a few weeks ago, you have to be careful because you might become a reflection also of this owner. I'm not a reflection of this owner. I just remember what this team used to be. I'm not comparing this team in a sense to what it used to be, but I am understanding what this team is, and there's something wrong with this team. It's not united. It's not mentally strong. We got folk who want to be leaders and they're not earning it. Robert says Michael's play late in games over the last 2 years should have been eye-opening for a thing for anyone paying attention. Zimmer should have put him back at linebacker and leave him there. You make people mad when you talk like that, Robert. I was telling people that this guy disappears, and I said it even before this game. It's a big game because he disappears in big games. He disappears down the stretch of the season, and I don't understand how are people listening to this guy. And I love Micah Parsons, but you're crying about a game that you registered goose eggs in. Absolute goose eggs. You got to learn how to channel emotion. Don't let your emotion come out in stupid actions. Let it come out in control. Let me control what I can control. Gee, that's true, but Cooper Rush doesn't have the arm to get the ball downfield. No, he doesn't. Nope, he don't. Nope. Cooper could. The one to CD. Yeah, he probably couldn't have made the throw. But you know what? The ending was fitting again because Mike McCarthy said this man reminded him of Rich Gannon. I hope Rich Gannon give him a call this weekend and tell him, don't you ever say that again. Derel, he says a majority of people that post on sports, especially the Cowboys, are not real fans. They are trolls, haters, and casuals. Yeah, and see, some of us, I could tell by the way some of us talking, we've been here. We've been here. We just know what good looks like. And we're watching a team that is divided. We are. It's mentally unstable. It's up and down. It hangs on certain plays. It holds vendettas against its players for mistakes. Won't play through whistles. I mean, the Jamar Chase, what Burrow did to us in that last drive, I'm sorry. They could have played better than that. What's going on, Santiago? Could have did better than that. In Zimmer's defense, Parsons cannot stay at the end. I think you're right. I think so too. I think he's too light. And that's why I say he doesn't fit the defense. To me, Zimmer doesn't have the right mindset to use Parsons. And you know why he doesn't have the right mindset, Wilson? Because he can't coach Micah Parsons. He can't coach him. When Micah Parsons is calling the owner his dog, who do you think he answers to? Mike McCarthy or the owner? Who do you think Mike McCarthy answers to? Who do you think Micah Parsons answers to? He's made that blatantly clear if people aren't paying attention. I remember when Zim came, they started talking about things that Michael was saying about this, that, and the other about Zim, and Michael said it wasn't true. He might have said it wasn't true, but it looked like it was true. Because, did y'all hear what Troy said? He's known Zimmer a long time. And for him to give him that kind of power, no, Zimmer doesn't give anybody that kind of power. When you give someone that kind of power, you're actually powerless. And it's like, to me, if you just kind of listen to the psychology of this, Zimmer, in a way, kind of let himself off the hook. Same way he did with Trayvon Diggs. When Trayvon Diggs got burned on that wheel route against the Atlanta Falcons, Trayvon Diggs tries to go under the rub rather than going over the top. Basic, simple stuff. Even my son played cornerback in high school. When he saw the play, he was like, he wasn't supposed to do that. Zimmer said, no, that's simple stuff. He should have known that. That's not something you have to learn now. That's not a part of the Mike Zimmer's defense. That's common sense for anyone who plays cornerback. I said this, and I didn't hear anybody else say it. I was flabbergasted when Micah Parsons says on Thanksgiving Day, we're finally getting used to Mike Zimmer's defense. What? In week 12? Zimmer's defense isn't complicated. It's discipline-based. That's the issue with it. It requires discipline. What do you mean you got to learn it? No, it's discipline. Stay in your gaps. Stay in your lanes. Know your coverages. Understand what we're doing. Whenever we're going to rush the quarterback, if we're going to send somebody, know where you're going. It's discipline. That's what it is. And I was blown away then. I was. Yeah, that Commanders thing, man, we don't even want to admit that. We lost a game the same way we won a game. We did. Washington basically lost the game on a botched extra point. It was one of the craziest plays we've seen. It was a routine play. We wound up on a routine play. We got a block punt. I'm still tripping on Jerry. Talking, oh, that was bad. No, Jerry was actually good. We can admit it. Amani made a mistake. He did. Let's not crucify him. He made a mistake. But he didn't make the mistake with 19 seconds left on the clock. He made the mistake and there was plenty of time left on the clock. Plenty for the defense to make a stop and the offense to get a touchdown. Michael think he should be the leader in the face of the team because he gets a lot of media hype. Exactly. He's the self-appointed leader. And that's why he keeps saying, as the leader of this team, I got to find a way to bring them together. No, Michael, no. Because you're not going to be able to do it. You can't. Talking doesn't make you a leader. I'm going to tell you something, and maybe I'm different. But when I see a person that does a lot of talking, a lot of cheerleading, always trying to talk his will into people, all this old crazy stuff about speaking it into existence. You know what? Y'all can subscribe to that. When you pray, you don't pray it into existence. You pray, and then you go and do the things that bring it to fruition. You do your part, and then God does his part. You don't pray and sit on your hands. You don't pray and say, I want to be rich, but you don't go to work. If you praying for God, give me prosperity. Well, what you going to do? What are you going to do? Just pray? Are you going to now get up and go do something that will get you that prosperity, that will help in it? What kind of work are you going to do? What skills do you have? How can you monetize your skill? How can you put the right people around you? What can you do? That's what you do. When I hear people doing a whole lot of talking, I don't listen to folks who do a whole lot of talking about this and what we're going to do and we're going to do this, especially when I'm hearing them talking unrealistic. Have you not looked at our schedule, man? Have you not looked at how our quarterback's been playing? Now, if you tell me one game at a time, I'm with you because now I can keep my head focused. But when you got me looking all the way down there talking about, yeah, man, all we got to do is win out, man. We're going to win out. Yeah, it's very much possible. Yeah, man, we're going to go to the playoffs. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You lose me when you start talking all that crazy stuff. Revelation, what's going on? Hey, G, Jerry knows the price of everything and the value of nothing. Boy, that's said a mouthful there, especially his players and his fan base. Man, you said a mouthful there. He knows the price of everything and the value of nothing. Yep, because see, for Jerry, and this is why I keep telling us how Jerry does things. See, Jerry don't mind being top heavy. Jerry don't mind putting a lot of all-stars, all-pros. Jerry loved that talk, so he can always say, well, I put the players around him. No, Jerry. Players are not enough. You don't build teams is your problem, Jerry. You don't build teams. You put some good players on the team, but you don't build teams. And you don't build teams because you don't let your coach be the leader of your team. And that becomes one of your problems. Willie said, Santiago said, Jerry's too busy getting that IndyCar track built around the beloved stadium. To think Jerry would change things around next year is crazy. The change should have happened years ago. Yep, I believe that too. I think It seems like they have something in place. I mean, this is kind of what Brian Broaddus was alluding to. And I'm thinking that they got some kind of plan that they're going to try to make a run, and I think they're going to try to make some moves. But if not, guess what, Willie? I mean, guess what, Santiago? It'll be the same old, same old. It will be. Michael don't have any stats against the Bengals. Nope. You know what? People can tell you what they want to. I mean, that's what he should have been crying about, and it might have been what he was crying about because he couldn't do anything. For context, Amani, 27, was elevated from the practice squad for last night's game. Yep, because of the injuries in the secondary, particularly Josh Butler. He's not even part of the 53-man roster. Yep. And Gabe, I'm leaning more toward I believe Mike McCarthy and Fausel when they said it wasn't a planned or a called block punt. Because if it's a planned or called block punt, I can assure us, and I can't assure us, but I'm saying more than likely, I could imagine when you run those type of plays, you start saying stuff like, hey, man, okay, so if it's a block behind the line of scrimmage, we go get the ball touchdown. If it goes beyond the line of scrimmage, no one touch it. The code word, Peter, fire, Peter Piper picked a pickle peppers, whatever you're going to call. And everyone's on the same page. It was a weird fluke play. No one expected him to get through, I'm sure. He got through. And rather than the ball going backwards, it went forward. Overshown in 2026. Yeah, he'll be back. He's going to miss next season, but he'll be back. Yep, you're right, G. Overshown. ACL, MCL, PCL. He probably won't be back next year. Yeah, he's out. But the good thing is no nerves. The meniscus is intact. So I think he'll be fine. Rush has to throw early because of arm strength. He can't zip it in. Exactly. And even when you throw anticipation throws, if you don't have no zip, they can still be picked off. That linebacker, number 57, boy, he like to broke the game wide open with that pick six. Thankfully, he dropped it. Having a quick release and making quick decisions are a world apart. Thanks for nothing, Rush. Yep, and that's the thing I was saying. He's making quick decisions. Let's not confuse that with a quick release. He's making quick decisions. Y'all remember a couple of years ago, they was talking about Dak Prescott's release. How fast he gets the ball out. How quick he releases it. And they had some kind of weird time on it. Rush is out there. Rush out there throwing nerve balls. I'm with you. Yes, sir, he was. Mike was doing what Jerry wanted. Make Rush the hero. I believe so. If people can't draw from Mike tried to let Cooper Rush be the hero. There was no logic to him throwing the ball. There was no logic to it. The Cowboys could have ended the game way back there in the 5-something minute mark if they were after Rico Dowdle rattles off 14 and then they went pass. That's crazy. Jerry wants Lance back for less than $5 million. You better believe he does. I'm sorry. I just don't want him to do it. Rico, the hero of the game, P.O. Jerry. Yep. Because it was Jerry. It was Jerry who wanted Zeke to play for the Cowboys. Jerry who wanted running back by the committee. It was Jerry when Zeke went crying and they were talking about after the Pittsburgh game, you're not getting in the game and asked them. It was Jerry. That Zeke comes out in the Detroit game and he's a starter in the first half. All that stuff is Jerry. Rico Dowdle is making Jerry look foolish right now. Boy. He said Cooper Rush plays quarterback like Cooper Killer Jr. Radio. Santiago says Michael was trying to recruit players to play with the Cowboys, bro. Work on your game. Let the professionals do the player evaluations. Micah Parsons is so busy talking about who they should draft, who they should get, and who looks like this around the league. Bro. You can't be a leader doing this stuff, man. It's foolishness. That's why D-Law told him early in the season, shut the F up. Cooper Rush did his party, threw his max two TDs. That's his average. 2 TDs. He good for 2. He good for 2. D-Rail said, radio, bro. He said, this is Rush's last season of playing and couldn't get it done now. Dak will be back next season, and he'll be benched again watching. Yeah, I will be surprised if Cooper Rush not with this team next year. I won't be surprised if he's not, but I won't be surprised if he is either, because you got to think about it. After Cooper Rush's performance this year, I mean, come on, man. He's only getting $2 million a year. I mean, he's basically going to get the veteran minimum. And so when you think about some of the quarterbacks that'll be available, like the Cooper Rush, I mean, not Cooper Rush, the Jameis Winstons, some of those type of quarterbacks that'll be available, none of them, they're probably not going to take that little bit of money. They're not going to take that little bit of money. So I wouldn't be surprised if Cooper Rush is back, but I do think Jerry has a devious plan that he wants Trey Lance. He wants Trey Lance to be the backup here. But I also say this. Don't discount that Trey Lance will be the starter this season, because I'm thinking that it's probably going to require, I said this before the Bengals game, I think it probably will require 2 more losses. So you got 1 with the Bengals, 1 more loss from the Panthers. There'll be no more reason to say Cooper Rush gives us the best chance of winning. Winning what is the question? Winning what is the question? Are we talking about winning games? Or are we talking about going to the playoffs? Because if we're talking about going to the playoffs, then that is literally crazy talk. If you're talking about just winning a game and you're not going to the playoffs, and you're trying to evaluate players, why not just let Trey Lance start a game? Even if you don't let him start the remainder of the season, what does it hurt to let Trey Lance start a game? 1. You got 4 games left. Why not 1? I'm telling y'all, Cooper Rush going to have a hard time with Carolina. Carolina's going to come after him hard. They are. They're going to come after him hard. I really think they might need to think about this with Cooper Rush, especially with a team like, especially even the Bucs. They're going to come after him. Y'all are going to see Cooper Rush if they let him start against the Bucs. I truly believe you haven't seen nothing yet. I believe against the Bucs, Cooper Rush is going to have one of the worst games of his life. They're DC different. They're DC different. They're going to eat up Cooper Rush. You're going to see him have one of the worst games. And I think the Cowboys really need to think about at least letting Trey Lance start one entire game. Even if I would actually try to give him 2 games. Don't do what you did with Dalvin Cook. Throw him out there for a few plays and say, see, y'all wanted him, you got him. He ain't no good. No, let him play. Let him play. Let him go out there and play. Let's see what he has. Let him go out there and play a couple of games. Don't let him just get his feet wet in a half. No. Hey, Cooper Rush, we're going to let you start the next 2 games. Next 2. We want to evaluate you. We might want to bring you back next year as a backup. If you don't get an offer out there, we might want to bring you back and pay you about $3 million a year. Give him time. Let him get out there and play, because we know they're not bringing back Cooper Rush. I mean, I'm not saying they're not bringing back Cooper Rush, but it seems like to me they want to keep Trey Lance. They do. I think Jerry likes what he sees in him. And I think when Jerry saw him in that Philadelphia game, Jerry said, nope, back in the box. Back in the box. So I would definitely love to see him talk. They aren't going to talk about Rush because they would have to admit they're wrong. You better believe it. You better believe it. Cooper Rush is a backup for a reason. Willie T, I've been saying it. Bengals got Zach and D-Law. I'm telling you, Willie T, I'm not going to be surprised. Who wouldn't this year? If you're a defensive player and let's say you've already gotten the bag, Or you're somebody who's saying, man, I want to get the bag. Man, I get my agent to reach out. Hey, man, I want to go play with Joe Burrow. I know I can do better than what he has. Oh, yeah, I'd go play with him. D-Rail said them telling us Michael can go anywhere he wants to is also telling us what we need to know. They can't coach him. That's what it tells me. That's what it tells me. When you make a statement like that, you're basically saying there's nothing we can do. Hey, man, do what you want to do. Robert M. said it's time to end the 3-year experiment of Parsons at DN. Wrong body type, no length or bend, and the 6'3" end is not ideal. Nope, not. But he'd be terrifying at linebacker if he'll go back there. Leave it to Shady McCoy to find a way to finesse shade to Dak Prescott. When analyzing the game, he jokingly said the Cowboys quarterbacks coming up small in big games is like clockwork, essentially. Yeah, Shady McCoy, and like I said, Jared Thomas, grain of salt. Philadelphia Eagle hates the Cowboys. Zimmer didn't give Michael the power. Willie T. Zimmer didn't give Michael the power. Jerry gave Michael the power to play where he wants to play. I'm with you. Yes, sir. I am with you on that. Hey, cuz I wish I had dated Dallas. Hey, Daddy, you said you wish you would have dated a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. Gee, didn't think you was that old. I saw Roger lose to the Steelers both times and win against the Broncos. Those were the days. Boy, you better believe it. You better believe it. Boy, I'm telling you, man, people do not understand. That doggone Lynn Swan, man, you couldn't help but like him. But, boy, you hated him against the Cowboys. Man, I ain't never, to this day, I don't think I've seen a receiver. And Dez Bryant, high point them things, man. Go up and get them jump balls. Man, Lynn Swan could go up over 2 guys, man. Woo, man. Lynn was a problem. Lynn was a problem. And that's why a lot of people, see, Willie, they won't remember like us. That's why that 95 Super Bowl, when the Cowboys beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, you want to talk about relief. Boy, because which one was it? The 79 Super Bowl? When the tight end dropped the pass in the end zone? Man, what was that guy's name? Jackie Smith. Man, Willie T. Folks think, man, you ain't seen, people ain't seen people cry. People have not seen people cry until they saw Jackie Smith drop that touchdown. Woo! Boy. That was tough. Yeah, man. I'm a little bit older, bro. I done seen it. Gabe, Mike stat line 0 sacks and 0 tackles. As a self-appointed leader and star player, he has to find another way to impact the game. Like tackle or play coverage. He's not playing for Dan Quinn anymore. That's it. For sure. That was crazy. You can't get goose eggs and be crying. Not to me, you can't. I mean, if you got goose eggs, maybe you should be crying. But I'm not buying all this DeMarion Overshown stuff. Man, all of us were emotional about that. But if I'm in that, I'm channeling that, man. A leader channels that. Hey, man, we about to win this for Demo. And I'm looking forward to the moment when they put that microphone in my face. Hey, Michael, what happened in that game, man? You took it over at the end. I did it for Demo. I told the whole defense we were doing it for Demo. And it galvanized. And we came together as a team, and we stopped them again. That's what I would have did. Once Jimmy left, that was the beginning of the end. That's it, Mark. It ain't been the same since. Jerry created these issues the moment he brought in. You're right, Willie T. The moment he brought in Barry Switzer, that was the beginning of the country club. Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders dating the Cincinnati Bengals field goal kicker. You think she might have gave him some insight? That's crazy work. Whether you like or dislike Dak, the fact is he's a hell of a quarterback, but even a better man. For what he's dealt with personally and especially professionally, I've got mad respect. Me too, for sure. Broncos fan for life. What's going on? Michael gets in his own head and needs to lock in on his own game. He has a lot of potential to be a superstar in this league. For sure. That's why I said I want him on my team. I want him on my team, but he can't be the leader of my defense. I really, really wish that he could play with a veteran linebacker who's really, really good, skins on the wall, and could really rein him in and help him to hone his skills. Calling up people, asking them certain things, that isn't good enough. See, I'm just saying, if it was me, I would be the kind of person, I like what Shedeur Sanders did. Shedeur Sanders reached out to Tom Brady and asked him would he work out with him. I would literally be doing that as a pro. Now, if I'm Dak, I'm not working out with Jalen Hurts. He's the enemy. But I wouldn't mind working out with a Patrick Mahomes because he's in the AFC. Probably won't see him, but maybe once every blue moon. If I'm Dak, I'd even work out. Hey, man, I call up Peyton Manning. I'd want to work with guys like that. I would. Just like if I was a running back. Okay, who were the top running backs of the era before me? Who were the top running backs I watched growing up? See, for me, for example, Jerry Jones could create a dynamic culture around the Dallas Cowboys. He could create a dynamic culture. I would want some of the Super Bowl winning players in the building. I'd want them at training camp. I would literally pay them. I would ask them like, hey, man, what's your schedule look like? What does your schedule look like? Yeah, we're getting ready. We're going to be doing spring training this year. I mean, if you're not busy, how about we give you an all-expense paid trip, you, your wife, your family, whatever, you, your wife, your children. Y'all come out to wherever we're going to do spring training. Come on out. I want you to hang around the team. I want you to walk around the practices, the walkthroughs. I just want you to be a part of it. So these guys, if they have the gumption that they can ask you or ask you, what do you think, about certain things they're doing? How can they get better? And we're even going to give you a few spots where you're going to be able to give some speeches and show some things on film. I mean, I would be doing that. I really would. I would be doing that because that stuff helps. Derail, I think Mike is declaring himself the leader because Jerry tells him he is. Yep. And shame on Jerry. Shame on him. Willie T, we're going 5-12 this season. Is over the hefty trash or being passed out in the locker room. Yep. I'm telling you, Willie T, I just don't see us winning another game. Yep, injuries plagued this team more than anything else. It did, Azteca. And you know what? Had they not been injured, they might would have fared better. They might would have fared a little bit better. Lost in Translation podcast, what's going on? I didn't watch the game last night. I didn't want to be double disappointed after Alabama did make the college football playoffs. There's only so much a guy can take. Man. Yo, I didn't even know Alabama didn't make it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Lost in Translation. Tell me what you think. I wonder if Nick Saban was there, would they have made it, even with the record they got. Trey Lance is going to play this season. I think he is too. I do. I think he's going to play. Trey Lance is a free agent next season. Jerry's not pulling film out there. He's not putting film out there for a bit more for him. But you know what, Willie T? If anybody saw what I saw in the preseason, they should give this dude a chance. Trey Lance could literally be a bargain for a team. A bargain for a team. Maybe you draft a quarterback, but you put Trey Lance and let him compete with Trey Lance. And if Trey Lance beats him, you got to steal. And now you can trade that quarterback down the line. You can trade him the next season. Maybe somebody else wants him. Trade him. Bring in Trey Lance, a veteran backup behind him. He's younger. You don't want no young guy behind him. Bring in a veteran behind him. Now you got you a man. You can build a team around. He won't command a big contract until his contract is up. I say playoff run next year is what is next year with what's happening this year and all the media going on Dak going to be hungry. Yeah, I keep saying it, Richard. I just think it's going to be. I think the chip season for the Cowboys is 2026. I think it is. I think they're going to win the bowl game in 2026. I think next year they're going to get further than they've gotten before. I think they're going to get further because this team is actually not a rebuild team. It's not a rebuild team. You already got your quarterback. You got your wide receiver. Unfortunately, Overshown is gone, and he's going to be gone in 2026. You got your defensive end, which I think he's going to probably play some more linebacker. You got Deron Bland, but even Joe Burrow showed even Bland can be burned, and I told you that before too. But you got some pieces. You got some pieces on your O-line. We got some pieces on this O-line. We really do. This O-line, man, it plays together, and if Guyton can get himself together, they get this line arranged right, this line's going to be pretty good next year. D-line look like it's coming together a little bit more. I think you still need to get another piece. I think you need a bona fide guy in that middle that can really stop it up. But, and maybe a linebacker here or there. I think they're going to get back competitive next year. I think 2026 is the season. And it'll be perfect when Overshown come back, wouldn't it? It'll be perfect. Overshown got rolled up on. Yep. Freak accident. While trying to make a tackle, his right knee got pinned under the scrum. Yep. I don't know. That's injury prone. He just, bad luck. Yep, bad luck. I still hate Lynn Swann and Franco Harris. Man. Boy, people do not realize how good them doggone Pittsburgh Steelers were, man. You won't hear a lot of people talk about Terry Bradshaw, but he had a team around him. He was a tough cookie, too. Micah needs a veteran like Von Miller. Yes. Yes. Exactly. Yes. Micah needs a veteran, man. He does. He does. Because right now, Gabe said the 24-year-old linebacker ends this season with 90 tackles, 5 sacks, an interception, a pick six, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Yeah. Guy was fired, man. He was on his way. We have NFC North and NFC West on our schedule next year. That's going to be tough. Woo! Wow. 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 Yes, sir, Azteca. That's going to be what better to get you for the Super Bowl? What better to get you ready? What better to get you ready? Miss Matrix, honestly, we could win out. I mean, we could lose out. You know what? I just don't know what's going to be I think this team, they're probably going to lose out. I could only see one more game. I could actually see two. The Panthers, if we can find a way to beat them, I just don't think we're beating the Bucs. I think they're too much for us. I don't think we're beating the Eagles. I think they're too much for us. But if the Commanders in that last game have got the 7th seed sold up, they will probably take that game as a bye week, and I could see the Cowboys winning that one. I could. Willie T said that is why Quinn wanted Wagner in Dallas to help lead. Woo. Willie T. Man, you hit me with a point there I didn't think of. Man, you hit me with a point right there. Wow. Yes. That's a great point. That's a great point. And I think Wagner could have helped him. Man, imagine this. Just imagine if Overshown don't get hurt in Quinn's first season. I mean, not his first season, in Quinn's last season. Overshown don't get hurt. Move Micah Parsons to linebacker, and you got Bobby Wagner. Could you imagine Wagner, Parsons, and Overshown in 2023. Defense would have been crazy. Marquise Bell back at safety, man, defense would have been crazy. Man, Willie T, I don't even want to imagine it now. I don't even want to imagine it. Honestly, we could lose out, but the Cowboys better beat Philly and Washington. A message must be sent. I wouldn't be surprised, Miss Matrix, like I said, they beat Washington. Because if they've already got the seed sold up, why risk injury? Use it as a bye week. Let your guys play the first quarter like a walkthrough. Put in the backups. Put them in. The Eagles, I've already showed you, and I'm going to show you again as we keep going forward. But the Eagles have a great opportunity, and people don't realize it. The Eagles have an opportunity to get the number 1 seed. This is why A.J. Brown got to shut up. They have an opportunity to get the 1 seed. The Detroit Lions end of schedule is way tougher than the Eagles end of schedule. The Eagles should easily win out. They better stay on their P's and Q's, but they should win out. They should. And I think maybe they got the Pittsburgh game. I think they may have the Pittsburgh game out. We'll look at it tomorrow. Get all the corrections on that if it's a correction. But looking at their last few games, to me, the Eagles have a golden opportunity to get the number 1 seed in the NFC. They do. And I'm going to follow both of those teams because they both have super teams around them. Both of those quarterbacks have super teams around them. Lost in Translation says, if Nick was there, Alabama would have not lost to Tenny or Vandy. That's for sure. Yeah. Yes, sir. A lot of people don't realize, man, he was the secondary coach. And there's been a lot of good secondary players come from Alabama into this league. And so some of this stuff has fell off. LT, this was a crazy season, but Jerry needs to step out of football operations. Definitely his sons needs to go too. Yep, for sure. Jerry says, but the thing is with Shady McCoy too, though, is that he goes to bat for Josh Allen when he only played in Buffalo for not even 2 full seasons. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I can't make sense of it either. I thought the same thing. It don't even make sense to me. It's bonkers. It's bonkers. He hates on Justin Fields for basically no reason. Hates on Purdy for God knows what reason. Yep. And what? Purdy's only been to what? The Super Bowl. He's only been to the Super Bowl. And had he not got knocked out of that NFC Championship game when his arm got knocked out, who knows what he would have did then. Gabe said Mike Zimmer sees parallels between Demarion Overshown and Cowboys Ring of Honor defensive back. Ooh, man, Darren Woodson. Impact, speed, and physicality. Gabe, let me tell you something. I had a crazy thought today. If you'll notice Demarion Overshown, he's a very slim linebacker. I actually thought maybe they should try him out at safety. Maybe they should move him to safety. He's a very slender guy. I wonder if he could play safety in the NFL. I do. He's a very slim dude. Man, he might be crazy at linebacker. But I don't know. Boy, that's crazy. Man. Okay, I'm looking forward to him getting back. Will it think Trey Lance is not good? You know what, though? I would like to see. I'd like to get a bigger snapshot. I knew he wasn't going to get it on this team, but I would like to see a bigger snapshot of him. Okay, G, you over deep in thinking we got we got to win a bowl without a GM and a coach. I think he's going to do it in spite of him. And, man, I'm going to tell you something. You know what? Hey, man, Willie, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I'm gonna go back and watch the video tonight, and I'm going to have a just fact-packed shows over the next few days, man. Had a death. Someone died, and we had to go do some visitation and consoling, so I couldn't do some things today. Tomorrow, I got to do Bible study. So Thursday for sure, though. Thursday and Friday and Saturday, man, I'm coming with all kinds of facts. All kinds of facts. Because Jerry Jones Jerry Jones, y'all, we got to be careful with this dude. He's a snake oil salesman. Jerry keeps hyping up Mike McCarthy. Jerry Jones could absolutely be bluffing as it applies to Mike McCarthy. He could be absolutely bluffing. Jerry Jones might literally go out and snag Bill Belichick. We'll see if Bill signs the deal with North Carolina. And I think one of the problems is with Bill is that Bill has a whole lot of crazy demands. A whole lot. And that's one of the reasons why I think that's one of the reasons why he may not get the deal, but we'll see. We'll see on that. But man, I don't think Jerry is as dumb, and I'm not giving him credit for being dumb. I think a lot of the things that Jerry is doing, he's done all on purpose. A lot of this stuff I think he's done on purpose. I just think the thing with Jerry, he didn't expect the injuries. I think Jerry wanted to be competitive, but I also don't think Jerry wanted to go far because I think the whole thing with Mike McCarthy, it's all some kind of weird plan, but we'll see how it turns out. This team would be tested the most they've ever been in a season. What better way than to beat the Giants of those two divisions next year on our schedule? They need a confidence boost. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. We need to draft another linebacker too. Yep, we do. Wow, what's going on? I will go for Abdul Carter. Man. Boy, if he's on that, if he on that board, man, it'd be hard to go by him. Dak versus Shador in Las Vegas next year. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see what they put around Shador. Darrell said, I want an A.J. Brown to keep it. Man, this dude is winning and talking noise. Joe Burrow's home broken into. Yeah, I saw that, man. Latest pro athlete home invasion. Yep. Mahomes and Kelsey homes were broken into in October too. Crazy work. I honestly want a Super Bowl once this year with two teams that are fighting to get their first ring ever. Why not Lions versus Bills? Vikings versus Chargers, but it'll most likely be Lions versus Chiefs. You know what, though? I'm going to tell you, Azteca. The way Kansas City been winning. You remember what I said about the Cowboys? It was fitting for the Cowboys to lose this way. This is how they've been winning. Close games. 2020. Both of these games against the Commanders and the Giants. Kind of like 2020. You got to win by some kind of play. You won 27-20. You won 34-26. I mean, it's crazy stuff. Here we go again, 2020. Some crazy play. You lose 27-20. Kansas City Chiefs, they keep winning these ball games at the end. Crazy plays, crazy calls. Man, you do not want to keep winning like that because it can't. You can't sustain that. You can't sustain winning like that because all that stuff is chance. Blocked field goals. I mean, legal procedures. No calls. You can't sustain that. And that's why I wasn't confident in what the Cowboys were doing because they were still living on the edge. You can't win the way they were winning. If you don't put teams away in this league, it's hard to win consistently. And if you don't put teams away and you keep winning, you're going to come to a point and it's not going to go your way. You got to put teams away. You do. You have to put teams away in this league. Bill's not coming to the Cowboys. Man. I don't doubt you there either, Santiago, because the reason why I don't doubt you in that I think Jerry wants him. Mike Fisher was kind of reporting on this too. I'm going to do a little bit of digging. Jerry may want him, but the stipulations that Bill is putting upon teams is insane. He's basically trying to wheel his son as being the head coach when he's gone. Wheel your son into being the head coach. That's crazy talk. Carolina Panthers will be a problem next year for a lot of teams. Yep. And they're going to be a problem for Dallas on Sunday. Overshown, 6'2", 220. That's a perfect bill for safety. Man, I was like, let him be the next Darren Woodson. Keep him out of those scrums on the line. Keep him away from that stuff. You don't want him to get rolled up on again. Put him to where he can really be an impact in the run game, where he can roam the field, use that speed, use that aggressiveness. Man, I think he'd be crazy at safety. A.J. Brown coming road Dallas since we passed. He said coming right out Dallas since we passed Happy. All right, guys. I'm going to come back sometime tomorrow if I can. If I'm not, it's probably going to be another late show. But Thursday and Friday, Saturday, man, we're going all in on the facts, videos, the interviews. Man, we're going to be looking at all this stuff as it builds into the game. Y'all put yourself in evaluation mode and you'll enjoy these games more. This is why I didn't take it like all these other content creators out here making excuses for Micah Parsons and, oh, we lost, it's Amani fault. No. What we saw last night is the epitome of the whole season. That's all we saw. And we're mad because we start listening to Micah Parsons. We start playing with the NFL playoff maker, and we created situations to where the Cowboys could probably make the playoffs. The Cowboys were not going to the playoffs. That was silly talk. Silly talk. Cooper Rush never was better than Dak Prescott. Silly talk. I even think it's silly talk to Micah Parsons. I mean, not Micah Parsons, but Mike McCarthy being the coach of this team next year. I'm not moving. Dak Prescott, I respect you. Love you to death as a player. But sometimes when I hear players wanting something like a coach like that, I'm like, hold on a second. This is what they want, but it may not be what they need. This team needs something different. It needs change. It needs it. I want to see it. So, till the next time, yes, sir. Gabe, it's probably going to be the late show. It's going to be the late show. Appreciate you. Again, hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.